Okay, perfect. Well, I mean, that's perfect, Mike. And I want to thank you and Frank, of course. And I'm a true and firm believer in things don't happen by chance. Like I'm a firm believer in that. I believe that God orchestrates a lot of things in my life, everything in my life, actually. And this moment is one of them. And I'll tell you why. Uh, Last year, matter of fact, February of last year, I was about to quit the business. And I hope that what I'm finna tell you guys resonates with somebody on the call because I think people see that the hosts and the people, the guests you guys bring on, that they think that everything is easy and this business just kind of dropped in their lap and they've been amazing at it this whole time. Okay. So for me, like I said, February of last year, I literally had to have a conversation with myself and I had to ask myself, is this something that you actually want to do? You've been in the industry 4 or 5 years plus and you've always kind of like it's always been good, but it's never been great. And it's never been the business fault, it's been your fault because you never gave it 100% full effort. So this is one of these things to where either you're going to lock in and give it your full effort or you're just going to be done with it. And I remember being on a call and I remember being on a team call and I was just kind of telling people what my goals were for 2024. And I made a commitment to myself that year that that would be one of the best years that I've ever had in the insurance industry because I was going to block everything else and lock in completely with life insurance, with the business, with the industry. But what people didn't know on that call was that I had just spent my last $2,500 on leads because it was either buy leads or pay your rent. And I think Marcus gave a similar story last week or last time he was on the call about when you have to have those decisions and conversations in your career on whether you're going to do either or. Okay. And that was one of those moments in my career where it's like, it's all or nothing. Okay. So it's simple. You're either going to pay rent or you're going to buy leads. I chose to buy leads. In that moment, my career made a switch. I didn't realize it then, but I know now. That's when it happened because in that moment, it was all or nothing. And I literally locked all the way in. During that time period, during that process, I made more money than I've ever made in a month for the month of March. During that time period, I was able to um award myself because that's when they were doing the producer cruise at the time. I was able to get locked in and I was able to get invited to join the producer cruise, which was something that I've never been a part of and never done before, even in my other business. So it's just one of those things like so in that moment, I'm able to do things that I've never done in the insurance industry before. And I'll fast forward to the producer cruise because during that time period, I met Jonna. We were over the phone, well, we were over Zoom at the time, and we were working together. And when I got invited to the producer cruise, I remember meeting her face to face for the first time. And this is around July. And around that time period, me and my team were somewhat in no man's land. We were in between organizations and where we were going to be and how we were going to move forward. And I remember talking to Marcus, and he's like, "Man, when you go on that cruise, something gonna happen. Like something's gonna happen to where you're gonna take your business to the next level. You're gonna take us to the next level. We're gonna be able to do something." I didn't know what it was, but when we were on the cruise, Jonna asked me. Jonna said, "Hey, look, I just got on Frank's team. I would love for you to meet him. I kind of know the situation that you're in right now, but you just let me know what you want to do." And I kind of told John at the time, I didn't dismiss her, but I was like, "Hey, John, I'm kind of here. I'm here on business, but I'm kind of here to enjoy, my cruise, so to speak, because at the end of the day, she didn't know at the time, but it's been 4 years since I've actually gave myself a vacation.
Wow.
So that tells you how I've always been locked in with insurance, but I've never really been locked in. And that's why it's never really worked out. But I've always told myself I was locked in. It's like you don't take a vacation, you're always working and all that, but something still ain't quite turned over. So I met Jonna, I mean, face to face. And then 2 weeks after we got back from the cruise, I asked her for Frank's number. And I remember my first conversation with Frank when I knew that this was going to be it. Me and Frank talk, and we talk business, but we more so talk just man to man on a personal level on what he's doing how he's gotten to the place he's been at. And I remember him having a conversation about how he is in the process of helping his nephew out with his church and how he wanted to kind of help him in that area, in that arena in his life. And that stuck with me because that lets me know that what he's doing, he's not doing this for the money. He has a purpose behind why he's in the business still and why he works as hard as he does. And I personally believe that the more money you get, the more it accentuates who you are as a person. And for somebody like Frank to say that I'm going to use this to help him reach out to more people, to speak more to God's people, it resonated with me. And I called Marcus and I said, "This it." I said, "We home, bro. This is gonna be the one." And fast forward to the end of the year, I've had one of the best years in my insurance career. And it's no surprise that this moment here came about the way that it came about because you guys, and I want to thank you. I want to first thank Donna for introducing me to you guys, but I want to thank you, Frank, you, Jamie, Mike, your system, your organization, your leadership has allowed me and my team, my business partners, to have the best part of insurance careers that we've had because it's still going to get better. But last year, I made a promise that I was going to create my first six-figure earner. That person just so happens to be my little brother.
That's awesome.
My little brother was on the call because he's doing it at a phenomenal level. And he was the first one on the call out of our organization. And he's also the youngest one in our organization. And on top of that, you've allowed me and my business partner, Marcus, who introduced me to this business and got me out of a corporate America job by saying, I need you over here with me. You guys were able to see him and how he operates and why we're so locked in. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm not me without them. I'm not here without them. So I just want to say thank you first and foremost before we kick off anything. Just thank you guys for what you've done for us and our organization because it speaks volume to what we're able to do. We're already on pace to double what we did last year. But just thank you for the resources that you offer to our team and our organization and to everyone on this call because everything that you guys do is phenomenal and you don't have to. You choose to, and that speaks volume to your character. Hope that answered some of your question, Mike, but I don't
Oh,
know.
it does. I appreciate that, man. You know, I think one of the most exciting things, like when people, we get texts all day long. I do, Frank does, Jamie, and we're always constantly sharing. Like a guy last week did like 25,000, like on a 50 lead order. He's not even in our group. Like we get nothing for it. But the joy that I feel, and then I sent it to Frank, sent it to Jamie, and they're both like, Jamie goes, I just love to see this. And really we say that every day, and they're not even on our team, but we just like watching and seeing other people succeed. Because I know for me that when I got started in this business, it was rough, you know, and I got beat up and I was very, very broke. So now to be in a situation where we have put together an entire system that helps others is just a great feeling. And you know what that feels like, because you said, you know, you wanted $100,000 earner. I mean, the way you probably felt inside getting your brother there, I mean, it's a great feeling. And it's only the people that I think are in it for that truly are successful. It's the people that are here just for money that I don't think they really ever make it. It's the people that are here with a true servant's heart and really want others to win that will really get ahead in this business. I think that the way that you speak and the way that you look at the people that are on your team, and then really how appreciative you are, is really why you're having so much success. And I have no doubt that it's going to continue. So I appreciate it. Hey Trey, are you on here?
I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah, Trey, you know, I talked to Trey about you, and you know what he said earlier? He was like, "Is he the older brother, the guy from last week?" He goes, "Man, I can't wait for that guy to be on." So Trey, you got anything you want to talk to Rashad about? I know you were excited for him to be on this call.
Yeah, no doubt. Nice to meet you, Rashad. I'm Trey.
Nice
Thanks,
to meet you
thanks for
too,
being
Trey.
on.
I remember meeting you at the pizza spot in Florida.
Yes, I totally remember. Um,
Yes, sir.
which was a great gig, by the way, the fact that we were able to take that whole place over. When we do the next
Yeah, we got to do it
Ignite,
again.
hopefully we do that again. That was a good, that's the best thing we ever did.
It
Um,
was, it was.
So you had made a comment about being locked in, but not really being locked in. Um, I think a lot of people get into the mode where they're just checking the boxes. I mean, what was the major shift there, um, other than what you said about spending that last $2,500 on leads? That'll do it. But there,
I mean, I'm sorry, go ahead.
go ahead. You knew where I was going with it.
I got you. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you, Trey, man. It's several different emotions that you go through in this business. And for me at the time, it was like everybody has that struggle moment in their business where they started here, they got there and all that. I got tired of having struggle moments, man. So for me, it's like it's several emotions that you go through. You're either going through struggling emotions, you're going through a stagnant emotion, and you're lucky enough to get to the striving emotion. Because when you're struggling, you know that you're struggling. You don't know what you have to do to get over that struggle. But when you finally start to win, you kind of get stagnant. And when you get stagnant, it's kind of like, well, I'm doing good because I'm doing better than what I used to do, but I'm leveling out. And when you level out, you don't necessarily push yourself to get anything more out of it because you're comfortable with what you're getting from it because you remember when you didn't have anything. So I try to live in that striving moment simply because you're comfortable with where you're at, but you also have to keep a goal in front of you to where you got to find out where you're going. And you got to make sure that you're always one foot in front of the other. Like every time I go to a conference or a convention, I find a new target. Like before going into the conference, I was trying to become a Hall of Fame producer. Once I got the conference, I was telling Frank this, I want a green jacket. Like, but I know I got to collect a few red jackets to get to the green jacket, but I want a green jacket. And that one right there, that allows me never to be stagnant and it allows me to never struggle again because I'm always gonna be working. You see what I
Mm,
mean? So that turnover for me really came down to what are you doing in the business? Because a lot of the times I think with newer agents and even sometimes agents who've been in the business for a while, you get you get comfortable in your own routine and you'll allow your talent to trick you out of the spotlight of thinking that the system needs you because it's
mm,
like, well, I'm the top agent on my team. Like I'm gonna be the best one. They need me more than I need them. That's a lie. It's a trick of the mind because at the end of the day, the system is put in place for you to win. The system was there for you to win. You hear the saying, nobody's bigger than the program. It's a real thing because once you get away from the system, you start thinking that you don't have to be on Zoom to make your calls or your dials because you know what to do. Once you done made a couple
mm,
of sales, you start thinking that I don't really need the script. I kind of got this. And you forget that those things are what helped you even get to that point. So for me, it clicked when I kind of that's why I said when I thought I was locked in because when you're thinking you're locked in, you're really going through the motions and you are doing better than what you were. But when you really lock in, you're dead set discipline on everything that you were doing and been doing to get to where you are. So now it's not a reason for me not to be on Zoom to make a sale. Now it's not a reason for me not to even have the script up. I may know the script, but I still may be looking at it while I'm on the sale. That way, I'm never going to forget what I'm going to next. The script is like a GPS, it's leading you to get to where you're going to at the end of the sale. So, what you're doing by not doing it, even now, I live in Atlanta, Georgia. And on the days where I feel like I don't need the GPS, I know where I'm going, I find out that it's a road stoppage or it's a crash on the highway. And now you're 30 minutes behind when if you would have put the GPS on, it would have told you the detour to get around. So it's simple and plain to do the things that you've been doing to get to that winning moment that got you to win in the first place. And I had to figure that part out and I had to literally block everything else out and lock in on this because you can get caught up in the limelight of what's pretty over there or what's going on over there. And now you think you can do both. No, I'm good. I'm gonna do insurance. I know everybody else doing everything else, but this is where I'm gonna lock in at. If that
amen to
answers your
that.
question.
Yeah, that totally answered my question. That was a great answer.
Yeah.
um,
Okay, appreciate it.
so you're building a team. How do you fit building into the equation? And like if you have like a blocked schedule, what does it look like every day? Kind of like the daily order of operations for you.
On a daily order of operations for me, Aside from getting up at 3:45 to make it to the gym by 5, once I get to work, we're locked in. So my daily operations is I do 3-hour dial sessions, which is going to be from 8 to 11, or from 1 to 4, or between 6 to 9, or 5 to 9, however I want to do it, right? But in between those moments, I make and I carve out time to have some level of a recruiting conversation. Now, I'll be completely honest with you guys. I do not put that much of a focus on recruiting as I should. Major reason is I tried it before, and the problem that I had with it was I was thinking it was a either or type of thing. When really and truly you can do both. And
Yes.
what works for me now and what works for my team now is we are the product of the environment. We are the best examples of the business. And you become the best example of the business by saying, hey, look, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm selling. When it comes down to training, I'm on Zoom. If you want to talk to me, if you have a question about what you need to be doing as far as contracting or getting started or getting ramped up, meet me on Zoom. We can hop in the breakout room. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about, but I'm here. And the more people that I get here, the more people I can help out, the more people I can train. And it also allows me to make sales because I can make money while I'm training somebody by doing a sale. So it helps me be able to do that. And my day-to-day schedule, like I said, I don't put enough time in. I know this to make recruiting calls, but what's helping me is to be that example because whenever I post numbers, I do pick up on people who were either in the business with me a while back and they're starting to see the success continue. Because a lot of people is really just watching you to see when it's gonna fail.
Mhm.
And when they realize that it's not failing, it's like, okay, cool, this is still working out for him. And it looks like he's kind of gotten a lot better with it. Like nothing about his lifestyle has changed and he's still in the same industry. So you get those ones or twos on social media saying, hey, look, how's the business going? It's going like this, man. This is what we're doing. I can show that receipts. If you want to see how we operate, you can hop on Zoom. You can see us making dials. You can see everything. And it would appear to be that easy until you start working. But it is that easy once you start working. So yeah, like my day to day, I could do a lot better recruiting. I know that. I do that. And how I'm working now and the way that I'm working now, I am trying to sell enough to where I can create that time to solely focus on recruiting. That way I can do both. So if I'm going to work 5 days a week, I'll be able to sell for three, make 20,000, and then get on the phones and recruit for Thursday, Friday. And it gives me the time to do both and blend and mix them.
You ever jump on Trey's recruiting call?
I need to. I do. I say I do. I say I promise you I do. But pouring them to the water, I know, Trey. I just need you. That's it, man. That's on me. I know
Hey
that's
man,
on me,
you're
man. I
you're
know.
you're
Trust
doing
me.
it. You're doing it the right way. I think a lot of people
Yeah,
they think recruiting is a lot more than that, but you leading by example and being on there, that's a great way to do it. And you don't have to lose money recruiting. I mean, you're on there showing them
right.
exactly how it works. So I think that's great. I got a question
Yeah,
for you, Rashad. A lot of times when people go through the difficulty, like you did, like when there wasn't any money and you had to make that decision, what were you able to do to be able to have a positive mindset to keep going forward? Because I think once people get into that situation, once that first negative thought creeps in, then you talk to other people, and other people are failing too, inevitably during that same time. What were you able to do to keep a positive mindset and know that this was going to work?
To be honest with you, man, I knew I had people looking up to me to see what I was gonna do, and I'm a risk taker. Because at the
Yeah.
time, our team wasn't even as big as it was now. But it was one of them things where it's like somebody has to take this risk, somebody has to take this leap of faith. And at the end of the day, when you understand and you are a believer, you understand that faith without works is dead. You got to put some work into it.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, I understand that if I invest into my business and invest into my leads, the only thing I have to do is work and the money will come from it. But if I spend too much time in my head, depending on, well, what if I buy it and they don't work? Or what if I do this and it doesn't work? It's like, what if you do it and it does work? Stay there. Like you have the penthouse, you have the 11th floor, and then you have the basement. I try to stay on the 11th floor at the end of the day because when you go to the penthouse because you made a couple sales and then they don't work out, you drop immediately to the basement and now you're in the dumps because it didn't work. When you stay even keel, whether it's gonna work, it's not gonna work, I'm still gonna do this. Like we buy leads on a consistent basis now simply because whether we get a good pack of leads or a bad pack of leads, I'm still gonna buy leads. Doesn't really matter. It's a part of the business. So when I'm in that thought process and what it took for me, And Jamie kind of spoke on this when she first opened up this heat wave of calls. When she got on here and said it was just about grit and grind.
Yeah.
Like people forget. I know for me, people forget when I was driving 3 different states to go
That was
door
tough.
knock.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So like
Oh yeah.
I was doing that. So for me to excuse my French, bitch and complain because I got to get up and get on the computer and make a couple phone calls.
Mhm.
You got it easy. It's AC in the house. You can you can let your window up. I had a pool next to my window. I can look outside. It's pool, it's wind, it's water. I can do that from the convenience of my home versus being in a car, sleeping in between appointments because I didn't have to door knock or I didn't have enough leads to door knock. It was a whole different process then. It was a whole different grind then. So when you respect and you made a way doing that, this is easy. This is simple. And Dom said it on his call. He said, I don't think people are trying to fail. They just don't have a game plan on how to get better. And at the end of the day, when you game plan and you figure out that all I have to do is buy leads, all I have to do is consistently dial, and the sales will come.
Yeah.
People focus so much on the sales that they don't forget about the process of it all. The process is gonna be there. The process is the process. You so busy worried about when I'm gonna make my next sale and all that versus just getting on the phone and making a call. Go help a family. You go help 2 or 3 families, I guess I guarantee that that money problem that you had, it'll slowly start to dissipate. Just a little bit. You just gotta keep working. And I knew
Yeah.
that. And the only thing I had to do was consistently wake up every day and put that into work.
What got you into vet leads, and how were you able to have so much success with those leads?
Nah, I'll be honest with you. Mike. So when I went on the producer cruise, Sean made a comment when he brought all the producers in there and he was talking about IULEs and how they were going to be the new wave of the future and, the persistency levels and stuff like that. So I knew 2 things, okay? This is me being transparent with you guys. I knew that IULEs were great and I knew that IUL sales would get you higher premiums and higher payouts. But I also knew depending on who you write with or how you write them up, it takes a while for them to pay out,
Mhm.
okay?
Yep.
Also knew that I had been running final expense leads for the longest. And the thing about final expense clients and final expense leads, no disrespect to anybody who does that, you have a lot of people who are broke by the fifth of the month. They just got paid on the first. They either got direct express cards or they got huge ailments and don't want to pay the premium because they can't afford it. So I knew that I had to find a supplement between an IUL and mortgage protection and getting up out of final expense completely. So after me and the team was on the call and Aphrodite was saying about the vet leads and how they were working out and this, that, and the third, we literally just gave it a shot. And when we gave it a shot, it was a bingo. It was a dead hit. And once we realized that it was a dead hit and it was a bingo, and people have this, they have ailments, but they also have a consistent level of income to where they can afford to pay whatever we can recommend to them. That became our new final expense.
That's
And I
awesome.
literally told the team at the moment, I said, hey, look, this is gonna be the numbers, all right? We're probably at a mixture of 40% final expense, 40% MP, and about 20% IUL. We need to get by the top of the year, we need to be roughly around 40% IUL, 40% I said about 30% vet leads and maybe 20% MP and 10% FE. Like by the top
Yeah.
of the year, I was trying to get out of FE completely. But I knew that with us increasing the vet leads, that would for one replace the final expense, but that would also give us the money to buy the leads for IULs. Because at that point, now I can sell an IUL, and if it takes a week or two for it to pay out, I got these vet leads that are clicking and they good to
Yeah.
pay out within 1 to 2 days. So now it just made a whole lot more sense. So I don't know where you came up with the idea from, Mike. I
It was
think you said
Dom.
Dom
Dom.
helped you out,
Yeah,
but
Dom.
I
That
remember
was
you saying
Dom's
that.
idea. We were not doing it. Dom
Hey,
came to me and was like, "Can you do this?" And I'm like, "Why?" I go, "People been running them. How many people can there be?" And Dom kept saying it for like months. And I'm like, finally, all right, we'll try it. And then it's been, I think, 2 years now. But yeah, it was 100% Dom. Dude, that's what's great when you
man,
have
look,
all of us who work together. I mean, because not one person is going to have every single idea. So that's what's great about having Trey and Dom and Schmidt, and Richard, everyone part of this group. It definitely makes a difference. You've never
for
stopped.
sure.
We got a lot of people in our group. They've bought vet leads. and things go up and down. And the competition on those leads has gotten ridiculous. But there's been people that bought them and then they stop, they get a subscription, but then they stop, then they go to another lead vendor, and then they come back. And obviously the price has gone up, man. If you had saw, I showed some people the other day, I go, them damn leads cost, we're selling for 36. Some cost us $70 to generate. They're expensive. And someone asked me today, they're like, well, what's going on? Why aren't they working? I go, oh, they are working. I mean, there's people that haven't stopped and they're definitely working, you know. And I had another person complain, and I go, there is no business in this world that runs on a week to week basis. So people buy one batch of leads and they think that that's everything. I go, who does that? I go, when I was in the field running direct mail, I'd get a batch of 10, they were $80 a piece, and I wouldn't sell any of them. But then the next week I'd get 10 and I might sell 6 or 7 of them. It was just the numbers. And at the end of the month, my ROI was there and I made money. But you guys have never stopped. And I think that's huge. And when you're buying leads as consistently as you are, you also have the ability that if you do have a bad week, you can go back to old leads. There are more sales made on leads 30 plus days than there are the first 3 days that you have that lead. So when you have that kind of inventory, you're going to have success and you have things to call. So I think that's great. I love seeing what you guys are doing with that. Trey, did you
Yes,
know
sir.
about vet leads before we started doing it, Trey?
Yeah, I knew about them, and people had been killing it for a little bit. And that was the thing I mean, Dom sold me on the idea that you guys had vet leads, and I got really excited about it because, I had a pretty big group doing it.
Yeah.
But just that consistent lead flow, that really is what it's all about, because it takes the scarcity out of it and it allows you to develop the momentum. Um,
Yes.
It does.
but if you're sitting there
It does.
trying to squeeze every last drop out of something, it's hard to develop momentum. You don't have enough inventory.
I
And
agree.
I think that's the thing.
what's
Like, not to
interesting?
cut you off, Trey. All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, no, no, go ahead. You go. I could throw
No,
my
I
comment
got
in
you. I
there. Yeah,
got you.
it's just
But I
it's
think you
interesting how, all
go
right, I guess I will go. It's interesting how Mike, uh what's funny about this is, like, we went to that conference, the Ignite conference just now, a couple days ago, and it's amazing how Rashad will get on here, even though he probably didn't talk to a dozen of the people that were at the Ignite conference that were on stage, and he probably's never talked to them, but the message is so consistently the same
Yep.
among the people that are producing the most. Like, it's
Yes.
almost like a collective consciousness, and it's always been that way at FFL. And it's because of the idea that the best train the rest, and then we end up coming together with like foundational principles that always work. And I was just making that observation. All right, go ahead,
Yeah.
Rashad. Sorry.
ahead. No, it's good. It's funny that you say that about the leads and how people like they either gonna that they take a break from buying leads. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it's like you get a bad batch because I remember talking to another agent in the organization, and they were asking me like, man, how's things been? I'm like, it's been a little tough. Got a little pack that didn't work out, but what do you think about doing? I'm like, well, what's the alternative? I'm gonna go buy some more leads. Like,
Mhm.
it's real simple. And the next pack that you buy, guess what happens? You write 9,000 on a Friday. So it's
Yeah.
like it's there is no other alternative outside of buying leads because leads are what's going to fund my business. Now I may have a day where I just clear out my pipeline and I may be able to dial on leads because I have so many. And
Yeah.
I remember certain times where when I do that, I remember writing 15K, in a couple of days off leads that I had in my pipeline that I just didn't reach out that much because I buy so many leads at a
I
time.
believe.
So when I went through that cleanup off my own leads, I wrote over 15K. So it's all part of the business, but you never stop doing what works. And what works in this business is buying leads. That's kind of why that's what I wanted to throw in there because it's funny that you guys said because people take a break if they get a bad batch. But it's like you take a break,
Always.
this is what happens when you take a break. You slowly watch your business die because you take a break that week on buying leads, right? So then you trick yourself into thinking I can either get on social media, drum up some warm market, this, that, and the third. And let's say you do make a couple sales on warm market. Now you're thinking that you don't need to buy leads. So you don't buy
Mhm.
leads again. And now by the time you get that next check, you don't went 2 weeks without buying leads.
Yeah.
So now when that warm market pays out and you try to get back into the flow of buying leads, you fuzzy on your script or you're off by a little bit. Chargebacks done came in and hit. When if you would have had a consistent clientele the entire time of going through everything else, you wouldn't have had that problem.
I
Like
couldn't agree more.
leads, yeah, like clients fund your business because you're always able to talk to them, and a fresh conversation is the best conversation.
Trey, you said something about momentum. I don't think most people realize how powerful momentum is. And you can see when people have it. And when you have it, it's almost like you can't do anything wrong. It's the weirdest thing in the world. It's like every pack of leads works, everyone you talk to works. And then if you take a break, take a vacation, stop buying, do something, and that momentum is gone, you think that something changed, but the only thing that really changed was one, the way you think, and that invisible force called momentum that people don't realize how powerful it is. And when you have it, it's your job to keep it and stay on top of it, because it's weird when it happens, and you can tell when you have it. It's really like a different feeling. But the only way you're going to get that is, I think, consistently buying leads and then having a good quantity of leads. I was going through someone's sales the other day. We were trying to figure out, and I thought we could find out what was the one thing that was working. Like, we're going to figure out the magic lead. And I was helping this guy. We went through his whole sheet. He did like 80,000 for the month. And I swear, some of the leads came from landing pages, some came from Facebook forums, some came from video, some came from images, some came from YouTube, some came from Facebook. They like came from everywhere. And I was like, there is no magic lead. I go, the one thing that is consistent here is the quantity and the consistency in which you buy leads, and there was nothing else that was the same. So he had a team, his team was on there, and they were like, why aren't I having his success? I go, this guy buys 50 every week, and he's done it for the last 6 months. And I go, you bought 20, and now you're on here asking me why you're not having his success. I go, it's quantity and consistency, and that is it. I go, I thought we could figure out what was special, but there was nothing special, and that's all it really was. Quantity and consistency. So
That's it. That's it. What else y'all got for me?
I tell you what, everyone wants this. Everyone wants a script. Tell us how exactly you are calling these vet leads when you get them.
So first things first, hey, how you doing, Mike? It's Rashad Gaines giving you a call giving you a call in regards to the veterans life insurance information that you filled out. We have your date of birth here as 9/11/1988. That you?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm the medical underwriter that's been assigned to go over this information with you. Shouldn't take no more than 5 or 10 minutes to do so. We do everything virtually, but I have to give you my license number up front. So if you can, grab a pen and paper and let me know when you're ready.
You make each one of them do it.
I do.
All right. All right.
Like
Got it.
okay, go ahead.
Got it. Okay. I got it.
You got it? All right, good deal. So first things first, my name is Rashad. That's Rashad. Last name is going to be Gaines. That's Gaines.
Okay.
Okay. Now my national producer number is going to be 188-51630.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And if you check your text message, you'll see that I sent you over a copy of my license with the state of Maryland. Just make sure you got that for me, okay?
It looks like it just came through. Yep.
Good deal, my man. So the state just requires that I give you that information up front so you know you are talking to a licensed professional and not just some random guy talking to you about life insurance, okay? So
Okay.
initially when you fill this information out, Mike, were you filling it out because you don't have coverage or you feel like you don't have enough coverage?
I don't think I have enough.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. And that's pretty much why they get me involved to go over this information with you. So basically what we're gonna do, I'm a broker, okay? So I work for you. All that means is that I'll do the shopping around for you once we find an actual plan that makes sense to you. So basically, what we're going to do first, I'm going to ask you a couple medical questions. The process is non-medical, but I do have to ask you a medical questionnaire to see exactly who or what you qualify for. Based on that information, we'll take a look at some numbers. Once we get down to the numbers, we'll have a realistic conversation on what makes sense and what fits in budget. Typically, the one that makes sense is the one that fits in budget. And at that point, we just have to submit an application over to the carrier so we can get you approved for your coverage today. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now, is there any reason outside of budget or the fact that it doesn't make sense that will cause you not to submit an application to move forward?
No, I want this.
All right, makes sense. So, also, is there anybody else that needs to be a part of the conversation, or will you be making the final decision yourself?
My wife will need to make it.
Is she there with you?
She's not here right now.
Now, do you need her to be there with you?
No, I'm getting this for her, so it's okay if she's not here.
Okay, you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay, I just want to make sure, man. I know, hey, look, I know how a household works, man. If you're the head, she's the neck. So don't nothing work without both of you guys. But I got you. We'll move forward.
Okay.
That's
Let's
it.
make it difficult because I know there's people on here and they go, every call doesn't go like that. So let's make it difficult. Let's do it again. I'm gonna throw some objections. Let's see how we overcome those.
Okay, that's cool. So ring ring.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Mike? This is Rashad Gaines. I was giving you a call in regards to the veterans life insurance information that you filled out online. You put your date of birth down as 9/11/1988. Is that correct?
I don't remember doing that. Who are you?
This is Rashad Gaines. You say you don't remember doing it? It looks
No,
like it looks like you filled it out online. Like I said, your date of birth is 9/11/88, and your email address is mikefile@gmail.com. Is that it?
I don't remember, but that's definitely me. So I must have.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, typically, so maybe you did it, or maybe someone in your family did it, maybe your spouse or something like that. But nevertheless, I'm just a medical underwriter that they assigned to go over that information with you. Okay.
Okay. All right. There you go.
Okay. You want to keep going?
Yeah, go. I'll throw you some more.
Okay. Got you. All right. So basically, how the process works, I do need you to grab a pen and paper first because I got to give you my license number up front. So just let me know when you got that in front of you. Okay.
Okay. Got it.
All right. Good. Good deal. So my name is Rashad Gaines. Just spell that. Okay. My license number is 18851-630.
What do you
Got
say if the
that.
person says I'm busy right now? I got something going on.
Okay, I'm pretty busy myself. Are you at work?
Yes, I'm at work.
Okay, well, it shouldn't take no more than 5 or 10 minutes. I have you off the phone. So if you can, just grab a pen and paper and just let me know whenever you're ready.
He still does. Okay.
I'm gonna do it. I'm
Trey,
gonna try
what
it.
other I mean, you know what? When people used to ask me about a million different objections, for me, if I got a whole bunch of stuff, I didn't try to say anything fancy. I just went on to the next lead, to be quite honest. I didn't mess with it. And then I'd call them back the following week. I didn't try to get real crazy with, covering objections. I just hung up and move on to the next one. So that's what I always handled. When you got a lot of leads, though, you can do that.
You can. And the thing is, I'm going to try to get you to grab a pen and paper, but if you just don't want to do it, guess what? I mean, hey, look, sounds like you're pretty busy or whatever. I can give you a follow-up call later on when you're trying to get off work or whatever. Like the typical overcoming objections, I'm not gonna push, push, push.
Yeah,
Like I give you
I
one or
was the
two
same way.
pushes. Yeah, if you're driving, I would try to push it. Hey, look, are you on the way home? Are you somewhere you're going to be stable for a little minute? No, not yet. Okay, cool. What's the best time to give your car regarding information? I don't want you doing too much behind the wheel. Because the last
I,
thing I want to happen is you try to pull your banking up, you can't.
I used to love telling people that they didn't have time before they could say it to me. I'd say, "Oh, you sound like you're getting the groceries out of the car, or you sound like you're driving, or you sound like you're in a meeting. I need to call you back."
Hmm.
I would rather tell them I need to call them back and not even let them tell it to me. I'll tell them I'm calling them back. So I like it. Trey, what else you got, man?
Yeah, that's super interesting. I mean, 80% of it is getting them to get the pin, and then it changes the whole dynamic, really. I mean, they go that far, you're in it now, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
what do you how do you wrap it up at the end, Rashad? Like, how do you ask for the sale and prepare them for the social security number and the fact that you're going to ask for banking?
okay, cool. So you want to start at the recommend part, the way I say it sounds like this is going to do this and the third, and they say yes, or you want to go to how the application part works?
Start at the recommend part.
So Trey, it sounds like what we're doing is putting something in place the way your spouse, what's your spouse's name, Trey? I ain't gonna be disrespectful.
Jure,
Jeray?
Trey and Jure. Yeah.
Trey and Jeray, gotcha. So Trey, what we're gonna do is make sure that if something happens to you, Jeray's gonna get a check for $25,000. Okay. So based on that information that you've given me, these are the numbers. So you tell me, Trey, do you want to go with giving Miss Sheree the 25,000 or the 50,000? The 25,000 is again it's gonna be 152 a month, and the 50,000 is gonna be 258. So which one do you want to make sure Jure gets that check for?
The 50.
50.
Yeah,
Okay.
we should
Now
do the
hey, look,
50.
let's do the 50. So the way that it works, I guess I'm going to do my best job to get you approved for this coverage. We will have to go into the application. It's only 4 pages. The first page is just literally going to be name, date of birth, height, and weight, things I've already gotten from you. The second page is going to be where they verify your identity by using your driver's license or a state ID, depending on which one you have. Also, what they're going to do is verify your medical history by using your social. Okay. Once we get that pre-approval and we get the green light, then we'll put your beneficiary on file, which is going to be Mr. Ray. And once we get that attached to the policy, make sure that she gets that check when something happens to you. We're just going to set up your payment information, okay? Now, the payment information is going to be based on your banking and your routing account number, but nothing is due today. All we're doing is getting everything set up so you can get approved for your coverage, okay? You can elect to have it start immediately. Then what we'll do is get your reoccurring payment set up so it gets done on a consistent basis. Make sense?
Yes,
Okay. It shouldn't take no more than
that's pretty
five
good.
minutes, man. Yeah, just grab your driver's license.
All right, I
That's
like
it.
that. That was actually really good. Okay,
Trey, you ready to give them your banking info?
I really was, yeah. And I like that too. Like would you rather leave her 25 or 50? Because it got me thinking the right way. It's like uh it's like Sean Mike one time. I remember he was doing this training, and the person said at the end, they said, "Well, that's a lot of money." And he goes, "I know that's a lot of money. It's $25,000 they're going to give." like like you got them off of the payment, but like it's a lot of money for the insurance company. That's really a good way
Right.
to set that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I actually
I
stole
see,
that from Jamie, so I appreciate her.
Jay, I see you, Jay has his hand up, Jay Johnson. We'll take one question. We're right at 7. Jay, you want to mute? Anything, anything in the chat? Something? Oh, or Orlando, that's a good one. What do you say? Someone says, I don't feel comfortable giving you my banking information. That's a
Okay,
good
so
one.
you're not giving it to me, you're giving it to the insurance company. But the good thing is they already have access to a portion of it, which is your routing number. So you're just verifying that part with me. But also just remember when I gave you my license information in the beginning, that just lets you know that I am someone that's official and someone that you can protect and trust, but that's completely up to you.
There you go.
I mean, you got to give somebody something in the beginning because I'm gonna ask you for something later on. That's how I
That
look
is
at
true.
it.
The rule of reciprocity. That's right.
That's it.
Very, very simple. Well, I appreciate you being on. Trey, was he as good as you thought he'd be?
It was incredible. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've watched this one over and over.
Yeah,
This is really good.
these guys are good, man. I love taking any one of their calls just because they're always positive. The people that do the best are always the people with the best mindset and just I think the best attitude. And it shows definitely. Well, I appreciate you being on tonight, Rashad. I hope all you guys got a lot. It's a shame there's only 120 people. So if any of you guys have people, well, there's a bunch of people weren't on here. I'd recommend sending this out to those people so they can learn from Rashad. I mean, these guys are absolutely crushing. So thanks again. Thanks, Trey.